375. Page 375, this is Shlomo teaching about Yerushalayim and Eretz Yisrael. Getting ready for the 3 weeks. It's a very special time in the summer. The word kayitz, it comes from the word like kates, like the end. It's like the climax of the year, all the festivals in the summer, like it's the happiest time. And yet, on our happiest time, what are we doing? We're remembering that the world is broken. And we can't have that full simcha. And yet, and this is our kavana, Moishi, salam aleichem, brother. Gaval, you're in Sri Lanka? Where are you holding?
India.
Gaval, which city?
Ladakh.
Gaval. Hodu Lashem Kito. Oh, right, Hodu Lashem. Ladakh is Lashem Kito. Gaval. Do you guys know each other? Ellie and Maish, do you know each other? Gavaldik. Look, they both moved up. Lakewood and Ladakh. 2 cities starting, both of them in Chutz La'aretz. We're learning now Yerushalayim and the Indian. The Indian is that many of the tzaddikim say this. I saw it. Some Sefer says it. Rav Nassan says it. Many of tzaddikim say it. I forgot all the rest of them. Everybody says it. That Kolamis Abel al Yerushalayim, anybody who mourns for Yerushalayim, Zoche v'roeh b'simcha, so the Gemara says, merits and sees its joy and its building is not in the future tense. It's not in the future tense. That when we're really connecting with Yerushalayim in its broken state right now, so that means we're davik to the Shechina, which is a happy thing. So it becomes a happy thing. It's an incredible thing. It's such an amazing thing. And this, we need Shlomo, like what Shlomo said, all my nigudim have a tear in them. Don't wipe away the tear, right? But that tear is what brings out the simcha of the nigun also. It's mamish like really an incredible thing. Chaim. Eli, shalom aleichem. I want to give a special shout out to the Etrog man. Today for this Shavua Tov, I had coffee earlier and I'm like, now I need Etrog Gat, I need like next level. I got it. Yeah, Uzi, yeah, Alav Hashem, yeah, Zichra Livracha. Okay, let's first, I brought a bunch of sources here to kind of flesh out what Shlomo's saying, but let's go first, like straight into Shlomo. So this, we're holding page 375. And Rashi says, oh, thank you. I thought I lost my wallet. I found it. So amazing. Tremendous.
Thank you so much.
It's beautiful. So, yeah, l'chaim. So let's go right inside. It's Rashi, Betchilat Perusho Torah. This is he gives a really unbelievable pshat. The beginning of the first thing Rashi says in Chumash. The very first thing is, it says, Kol ha'aretz. The truth is, right before that, it says, Amar Rabbi Yitzchak. He's quoting Rabbi Yitzchak, which might be Rashi's father. Page 375. 375. So the first thing he says, possibly quoting his father, that's the Yud in Rashi's name, Rabbi Shlomo Yitzchaki. His father's name was Yitzchak. So Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, it could be it was his father. Reb David, I'm now Mamish ADD, but I'm just remembering Maim Chaim David Hillel, Reb David Hertzberg, in his Sefer has Torah about that it starts off, the first thing in Rashi is Kibud Av, and quoting his father. But in any case, close parentheses. Kol ha'aretz shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu hi. The whole earth belongs to Hashem. Hu bra'ah, he created it. Unesana l'asher yashar be'einav. And he gave it to the one that was Yashar. Now I have to be careful because it's we're in the year for Moshe, and he's listening to every word I say. And one time I was driving, I said this already a few times this year. I was driving Moshe Geller, Zecher Livracha, Zchona Livracha. I was driving with Moshe around Far Rockaway, New York. And I said, Moshe, which way do we drive? Do I go straight? And he looks at me in the eyes, says, Leibish, never straight.
Never straight.
Forward. This is Moshe, he's a hippie, you can't be straight. Anyway, okay. So Hashem gave it to the one that is Yashar in his eyes. Yashar. Let's call it straightforward. Put the two together. Straightforward in his eyes. That is to say that Hashem gave Eretz Yisrael to who he wanted to give it to. And that's the simple pshat. That is the simple pshat. Zero bira ragil. Aval Rabbeinu HaKadosh Alexander, Balakedes Yitzchak, the Heilig Alexander Rebbe, he says, Misha Yashar Be'enav means, Lomar, Misha Yeshlo Einayim Yesharot. The person who knows how to look in a forward kind of a way. A person knows how to look in a real kind of a way. Kadosh Baruch Hu noten lanu et haaretz ki yesh lanu et ha'inayim shel Kadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem gives Am Yisrael the land because we have these like divine kind of eyes. And Mamish, that's what the whole next thing of Shlomo is going to get into, understanding what is Eretz Yisrael, what is Yerushalayim, and what is this Yashrut Einayim. You hear what he's doing with the Hebrew, the Alexander. Hashem gave it Lemi Sheyashar Be'enav. Whose eyes, right? Hashem's eyes, that's the simple pshat. Hashem gave Eretz Yisrael to the one that it was right in Hashem's eyes to give it to. Alexander says Hashem gives it to the people, to the people who have straightness of or forwardness of eyes. It's an amazing different parsing of the sentence that really turns the whole thing on its head, mamish, right? Fine. What is this kind of looking that we're talking about? So really, Rav Shlomo gives us the whole thing in this next paragraph, and then we're going to do, Bezos Hashem, a bunch of sources about Kedushas Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael hitchila libanot, says Eretz Yisrael that we're in now, the Medina, with its infrastructure and its its whole reality. Hitchila libanot ad Yehudim shelo kol kach shamru mitzvot. It was built by Jews who didn't so much keep the mitzvahs. Madua, why? Pashut Mod is very simple, he says. In Yehudim ksherim shelomdim Torah, if kosher Jews who were learning Torah, umakaimim mitzvot, hayu bonim et Eretz Yisrael, if they were the ones who were building the land, hayu choshvim, that what would it send the message? People would think, sha'aretz nitna lanu ach v'rak biglal kiyum ha'mitzvot, that will think that the land was given to us only for the doing of the mitzvahs. Right now, the thing is, you may be wondering, Tanakh. We have so much of Tanakh. It's like, I'm giving it to you that you should keep the Torah here, and if not, you're going to lose the land, and so on, right? Good kasha. It's an important question. And we're going to look at this. This is what the eyes are about. Of course, Hashem wants us to keep the mitzvahs here. But is that why he gave us Eretz Yisrael? Right? There's something deeper. There's something deeper. There's something so much deeper. You can never boil down a kesher, true kesher, a real connectivity, a real related, real love can never be boiled down, right? Like the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos says, Ahava tluya b'davar, a love that depends on some kind of a thing, batel davar, batel ahava, and ahava she'einat tluya b'davar, love that is not dependent on anything, right, is an ahava that lasts forever, right? Fine. Sure, Eretz Yisrael, right? We mention, where do we mention Eretz Yisrael? Where do we mention, please bring us to Eretz Yisrael? In the bracha of ahava. right before the Shema, right? As we sit here 1 second. Any of this either. It's, my mind is not. There's a bunch of that whole row, the third row up from the bottom is also. It doesn't matter on but the third row on the up from the bottom. That's one. Yeah. Davening every day. You say, "V'havienu l'shalom ma'arba kanfos haaretz." Maher v'aveilenu bracha v'shalom mahera v'avienu l'shalom ma'arba kanfos haaretz. Uleinu maltzavenu v'tolichenu mahera kol miut l'artzeinu. Please bring us right away. Right away. Mahera. We say a few times mahera. Kel plishu sato v'adv'chadmu. Right? Baruch Hashem ha'bocher v'moiseh v'ahava. That's where, right? Because it's something, of course, we're here to do the mitzvahs. And yes, if we don't, we may lose the land and so on. But that's not the essence. And we're going to be talking about this whole thing. Shlomo goes, this is the whole beauty of Shlomo. Every time he hits the bullseye, he takes you right to the essence. No, she just walks with you right into the essence. Chaim. He says, the thing is, if kosher Jews had built Eretz Yisrael, we would have thought that it's all talui b'davar, and it's this like mechanistical thing. It's a rule-based thing, and not a love-based thing. And even though it's true, in Tanakh and the Chumash, we're here. Hashem wants us to keep the Torah here, and if we don't, we may go into exile. But why does Hashem always bring us back? Why does Hashem promise that we're going to come back? Oh, yes. There's something deeper than just keeping the rules, than just the mathematics of Eretz Yisrael. Aval achshav, he says, now that he says that's why the country we're in right now was built by non-religious Jews. Achshav anuchnu yodim, dafka, now we can. This is to send us a message from heaven that we should know. Sha'arti na l'chol yodim mitzad sod haneshama was given to us based on like the secret of the soul, and we're going to be talking about this. I just want to take a second and say something else that Shlomo said once elsewhere. Years ago, I saw it, and I don't remember where. But Shlomo said this too. He was riffing on the Rav Kook. Rav Kook said that we're all this one whole. That, yeah, the non-religious Jews are building the body of Eretz Yisrael, and then the religious Jews are going to bring in the soul. Rav Shlomo then said, in the 70s or whenever he said it, he said, now, 50 odd years after Rav Kook passed away before the founding of the state of Israel. He was the chief rabbi of Yafo, but not of Eretz Yisrael, his son. But Chaim, Rav Kook. So you can go to Rav Kook. He's buried here. In any case, so I need to go. So in any case, Rav Shlomo said, now, this is such an unbelievable point. It's only because he was the yeshiva man and the deepest neshama in the world could Shlomo say this. It's such like alumnus. He says now the body of Judaism, of Torah, is being kept by the religious Jews, but the soul of the Torah is with the non-religious Jews. See what he did? Rav Kook said the body of Am Yisrael is the non-religious Jews building Eretz Yisrael, and the soul is the religious people. Shlomo says, okay, that was then, but now, like we're each holding parts of Yiddishkeit, and the non-religious Jews, they don't have all the rules, but they have the longing. And mamish, I'm telling you, I'm getting phone calls, I'm getting messages this year after October 7th from Yidden around the world, mamish, and they're like, who am I? What is this? Teach me something. I want to know what is the Shemona Esrei? Who are we? What is this? I know that I'm Jewish and I'm committed. I'm in, And it's such a total, unbelievable Mesiras Nefesh. People literally, it's like a Mesiras Nefesh to identify as a Jew, to identify as somebody who believes Israel should exist. Just to think that Israel should exist is very radical in many circles, especially many of the sensitive souls who are out on the left. Mamish, it's painful what's going on. So painful. People are losing friends. People are mamish losing friends. families are also getting lo pashut. So, and this is also what the Balei Tshuva and the people who grew up religious but then kind of woke up to it. A lot of times, what happens to them? This is just me talking now. Oh, actually, Shlomo said this also. He said there's FFB from birth, and there's BT Bal Tshuva. He says there's another thing that you have to be very, very careful of, not to become. It says FFT from Tshuva. That you started, you had a fire, you woke up, and then you're like, well, but everybody else is robotic, so I guess I have to like not be me to be Jewish. You know, it's so sad. Chas v'shalom, that spark that Hashem gave you to care, to love Shabbos, to be awake to God's existence, to love the Torah, that spark that Hashem gave you, the whole from world needs you to teach them how to have that, how to shine like that. The whole from world needs you. A dear friend of mine, you don't mind I'm quoting him, my dear friend David Kalmas. He's starting a Breslov, an English-speaking Breslov yeshiva, a big chiddush. He's starting an English-speaking yeshiva, and in Harnov, and I said to him, he was saying the other day, he said, when I first did tshuva, I would like learn and be so excited what I was learning, and then I'd look at the from world, and I was like, nobody's doing this, nobody's living it. And he asked all these rabbis, and no one gave him an answer until he asked Rav Breitowitz. Rav Breitowitz is a very, very good man. His mom is like Papa Smurf. Like, there's so, you know what I mean? No, my goodness. He is gewaldig. It's unbelievable how I've never, he's a genius of geniuses and a heart of hearts.
And he's cool.
And he's so cool. And he's just unbelievably unkempt. Unbelievably unkempt. Next level, Judy, he needs you to like straighten him up a little bit. And in case his clothes, it's absolutely, it's like incredible. It's like, where did you come from? It's like he's just in a different dimension, mamish. Anyway, so he said to David, he said, you're right, and that's why we need you. And he said that one conversation he had with him, he didn't stay in touch with him really, but that one message, somebody telling him, yes, you're onto something, and we need you. Now he's mamish starting a yeshiva. He would have, he was like close to just saying, forget about it, like the whole thing is a sham. We need somebody to say, yeah, we need you. We need your artistic. We need your energy. Yeah.
That's how this place. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody could not find a yeshiva that he could go to.
Right. Where am I gonna go?
So.
Mamish. That's that.
That's how it started.
The Aye Merkam Kavada, and then Pitam, like Hashem opens up a place that didn't exist. Like it's a really big deal. This is the inyan of Yabasha b'toch hayam. There's nowhere to go, and Hashem makes a place to go. Okay, l'chaim. So okay, but we still didn't get to this essence thing that I want to really, does Hashem open up with. Rabbi says Shlomo, Anachnu mistovavim ba'aretz v'ra'im Yehudim shutim, walking around Eretz Yisrael, we see simple Jews. Lifamim anu ro'im ganav. May see a Jewish thief, a Yiddish thief running around, who knows what. Lifamim shikor, a drunk guy on the street. Lifamim tzaddik, and we run into some tzaddik. Lifamim lo tzaddik. Doesn't want to say Russia, but let's start together. No, that's tzaddik. But one thing is clear, and this is a very famous thing Shlomo said, Kol Yehudi ba'aretz malei sodot, every Yid who's in Eretz Yisrael particularly, and the whole world, but particularly Eretz Yisrael, is filled with secrets, malei razei olam, filled with the secrets of the world. Ani tamid omer lachaver sheli, I'm always telling my chevren, lo kol Yehudi kadosh, right? Not every Jew is holy. Aval kol Yehudi hu kodesh kodeshim. Every Jew is holy of holies. Now this thing, that distinction is that we're going to try Be'ezus Hashem to learn about today. It's an incredibly important thing that Shlomo is pointing to try to understand what does that mean. So we'll just finish off the paragraph before I delve into it. He says, "Torah shebichsav nitna b'chutz la'aretz." Har Sinai, we got the written Torah outside Eretz Yisrael. Aval sodot haTorah, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the Zohar HaKadosh, nichtav ba'aretz. It had to be written here. It was written here. Written here. Ki efshar lichtov sodot ka'elu ki im be'eretz Yisrael. Such secrets can only be written here. Lir'ot et ha'aretz, to see the land. Again, we're talking about yashar be'enav, this thing of seeing, really getting it, right? This efshar be'enaim gashmiyot. It can't be done with physical eyes. Got to be something secret. HaKadosh Baruch Hu amar l'Avram Avinu, lech lecha el ha'aretz asher eka. Go to the land that I'm going to show you. Kol tzadikim shalim, all tzadikim ask, harei l'Avram Avinu hayu einayim shel navi. Avram Avinu had prophetic vision, right? He could have stayed where he was. And using his prophecy, see where he's going. But no, Hashem, Rashi says, Hashem was giving him a reward for each step because he doesn't know where he's going. He was like, I'm going somewhere, I'm being pulled to some kind of a place. But no, why couldn't he just use his prophecy? Just turn on the X-ray, whatever. Why couldn't he just see? He couldn't, because Eretz Yisrael is, again, deeper than prophecy. We're going to get to this to explain it in a minute. Someone explains, even prophecy, that's not what seeing Eretz Yisrael is about. The land that I will show you, Hashem says. Now remember, this is the first mitzvah. This is the, like, with that old school Yiddishkeit, right? This is like the old school. It was like, go to Eretz Yisrael, and I'm going to show it to you. Don't think you can just see it, even with your prophetic powers. Hashem showing it to you. Only Hashem, in His majesty and in His mamish God, can show us what Eretz Yisrael is. Maybe Hashem's will that we connected not only to the secrets of Torah Kim Gam, but even to the secrets of Am Yisrael, the Sadot, Am Yisrael, the Sadot, Eretz Yisrael, the secrets of Eretz Yisrael. Okay. So Shlomo is building for us. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Shalom. Shlomo is building for us here and he often is doing this, a contrast. There's Kodesh and there's Kodesh HaKodashim, right? And his first thing that he was saying was, Kodesh, that corresponds to like being religious, but not every Jew is religious, but every Jew is Kodesh Kodashim. There's something deeper than the rules, right? And then there's Nevuah, which is high-level ability to see what's really there, like an incredible thing, but it's not the ultimate. There's something bigger than that. There's Hashem showing you Eretz Yisrael, something else, right? Fine. Now, the thing is that to go into this mashal of Kodesh and Kodesh Kodashim, in the Beis HaMikdash, there was a area called the Kodesh, right? And we're going to learn, I'm going to read for you the Mishnah in Masechet Keilim in a minute. But the main contrast over here is the Kodesh was extremely choreographed, super levels of rules of exactly which area to shecht, which kind of korban, what thoughts, 6 different thoughts that a Kohen has to have every time that he shechs that he slaughters the korban. The spots on the mizbeach where the blood goes, the which parts of the animal get burnt, which parts of the animal get eaten, the times of day, so on and so forth. There was a whole clockwork going on in the Kodesh. When you go into the Kodesh Kodashim, however, the Kodesh Kodashim is a place, like Gemara says in a couple places, it's the Eno Min Hamida. You go in there, and not only are there no rules, even math doesn't work there. The ultimate rule, like that it's not Min Hamida. That means you would measure from one side of the wall to the Aron, and then from the other side of the Aron to the wall, and it would be the entire space of the room. So where was the Aron? Where was the Aron? It was Eino Min Hamida. Furthermore, and this is an unbelievable Torah from Rav Henoch Dov, what's his last name?
Teller?
No, from Denver. Hoffman, Rabbi Howard Hoffman. He's one of the great Torah scholars of our generation. Not so well known. He's a psychodramatherapist out in Denver. He has smicha from Reb Shlomo Tversky Zatzal and Reb Shlomo. And he's one of the world's foremost teachers of Ishbitz Chasidus, mamish, foremost of the foremost. I urge you to check out his website, henochdov.com, or maybe it's rabbihenochdov.com. His Torah is absolutely wild, and he's fearless. He does all kinds of interfaith stuff. Also, he's mamish beyond. Rabbi Howard Hoffman, or Henoch Dov Hoffman, yeah. So he has this Torah. You remember him, right? He's a Gaval. So he has this Torah about how, and this is something the Gemara also kind of points out, that when they destroyed the first temple, the Aron was hidden, but the images of the Kruvim were all over. They were engraved in the gold on the walls, on the whole inside of the Heichal. And so the Babylonians were saying, look, these Jews, they say they have no images, but look, there are all these graven images once you get inside their holy place, right? And Mamish, he says, the Holy of Holies, he says, is meant specifically to affirm the outsider, the thing that the person who doesn't fit in, because the Kodesh Kodashim contains a statue. Now, of course, the statue represents, and it's made of one piece of gold, and it represents the highest thing there is, the relationship between each other and the relationship that we have with Hashem. Those two kruvim are, and Hashem says, okay, it looks blasphemous, but this is what's going to be in my Kodesh Kodashim, right? This is this is like how it has to be.
I'm right, you're wrong.
Yeah, I'm God, right? And this is so everything. So you have this wondrous paradox. And again, it's going back to what Shlomo's what he's bringing out over here. But every Jew is a holy of holies. You have this amazing paradox. Time.
Not exactly the same, but shatnez was mutar.
That's right. Shatnez and Beis Hamikdash. Yes. So it's related. Shatnez is mutar, and the Beis Hamikdash. So what Rav Shlomo is saying is that the weirdness that contains the joy of relationship, right? The whole Yofi, and all the greatest Rebbes were this way. All the realest Rebbes, they were very religious. They kept all the rules, but they know just how to break the rules, just how to give you the sense that you're more important than the rules every time, without undermining the rules. Adarabba, that gives energy to all the rules. That's what makes all the rules livable. That's what makes all the rules alive. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of rules, and the rules are more important than me. And what grade do I get? Oh, I don't know. I'm a little better than he, but a little bit less than her. And I don't know. Do I count? Am I important? Chas v'shalom, that should be, right? That's like we said about Eretz Yisrael. Of course, we're here to keep the mitzvahs, and Hashem wants us, and he'll give us exile and etc. But the kesher, ahava she'eina tluya b'davar, the kesher itself is so much more. The kesher is deeper than anything, deeper than all rules, even math. Nothing, the Kodesh Kodashim, there can't be any rules. It's mamish, the freest, most non-rule place ever. Even math doesn't work over there. There's an idol, but there's a statue there of two. It's what's going on here. No, but because that statue of two is what gives us the strength to believe that we really are loved by Hashem. And this is the bracha, this is the pele. How do you say the Shema? How do I melt into the oneness of God? Only when I know that God really loves me, which is like a very big paradox also, right? There is no me, right? It's just echad, right? And there is a mamish, a real emes to that. But to get there, you have to know you're so loved. It's such a pasha thing. That's the brach. That's the way in to the Shema, and within that is Eretz Yisrael, and that's what the message of the Siddur is. Eretz Yisrael is given to you because you're loved, not just to see how good you'll do. Not just it's so much deeper. It's so much deeper. And so all the rules become something else when you realize that it's grouped around the Kodesh Kodashim, that it's all coming from there, right? What was in there also was the Evan Shasiya. Shasiya means in Eretz Yisrael, the Tashtit in Hebrew means the foundation stone. When you make a foundation for a building, it's called a Tashtit. Another word than just foundation, the thing that holds up like the skeleton of the building. There was a word for that. There's another. Anyway, what's that?
Cornerstone? That's different.
Not cornerstone. Like when they first make all the interconnecting metal pieces, and then they
Foundation stone.
is it foundation? Yeah, foundation.
Scaffolding.
Yeah, like scaffolding, maybe. Yeah, there's a word.
Load bearing.
What's that?
Load bearing wall.
Load bearing wall, right? There's a word for any case. Like the structure, any case. The thing is that's the idea is the whole world came out of there. The whole world came out of there. At that point that connects the finite with the infinite, it can't be any rules. That's just because Hashem wanted there to be a world. It's so much deeper than all rules. It's so much deeper. It's from there that all existence comes, and it's there that we're meant to learn what our relationship with Hashem is about, and that who we are is always, always, always going to be more important than what we do, right? And your belovedness is not based on what you do. And this, again, we spoke with this a bunch of weeks ago. That on the other hand, it really is important that we have goals, and that we don't just be, beloved couch potatoes. Like, okay, we love you. Doesn't matter. Like we need to feel significant in our mission, in our journey, and so on. It's also really important. But that has to be vivified and energized by the Kodesh Kodashim at the center, right? This is what Shlomo's saying about having eyes that are yashar, means you've got to see all the way in. You've got to see all the way in. This was a rule of last week's parsha, the Para Aduma, right? They did the Para Aduma across the hill. There was one hill over. They did it on Har HaZeitim. And the Gemara has unbelievable math of how the walls around the Beis HaMikdash and the doorway in and the steps going up and so on made it just so that the people doing the Para Aduma could see from afar, and they would open the parochet, that they could see all the way into the Kodesh Kodashim. Mamish, that's this 2020 Jewish vision. You're going to heal Tumas Meis. Mamish, bring hope back. That's what the Ishbitzer says. The Ishbitzer says that Tuma is when you're losing hope, and then Tchias HaMeisim and Tahara is getting back your hope again. in life, right? And to have that, we've got to be able to see all the way in. You want to see what Eretz Yisrael is? If you only see the outer circles of Kedusha, so I'm going to read for you. But just do it quickly. This is the last 4 Mishnahs or 3 Mishnahs in the first chapter of Masechet Kelim. Masechet Kelim is 30 chapters, one of the longest Masechtas in Shas. And it's talking about all these different vessels and how, in what way they can contract Tuma and how to purify them and so on. And it's very far out. I'm learning it now with my son. It's quite something. And it starts off talking about all the different types of Tuma. And then in the first chapter, it says, and you know what? There's also 10 types of Kedusha. Right away it goes there. This is we were learning on Thursday night that from a Belchanan Wasserman, that's all. The Chafetz Chaim's Talmud said that Hillel, the Ger came to Hillel and said, teach me the whole Torah while I'm standing on one foot. And Hillel said, what you don't like, don't do to your friend. And everyone asks, where's tefillin in that? Where's the Ben Adam la Makom? Where's the between man and God mitzvahs? What you don't like, don't do to your friend. It's nice, but where's the rest? Where's tefillin? Where's Shabbos candles? And so Rabbi Chanan says, Al derech hapshat, he says there are 2 forces in the world. There's Tuma and there's Kedusha, because Tahara is just lack of Tuma. And so he says, when you put on tefillin, that's the deepest way to love your friend, because you're augmenting all the Kedusha in the world, and so everyone's going to feel it. And chas v'shalom, you eat treif, you're bringing more Tuma into the world. And so everyone's going to get brought down. And so when Hillel said, what you don't like, don't do to your friends, he meant, we're all on the boat over here. Do as much Kedusha and minimize the Tuma, right? And the Mamish, that's the whole first parak of Kelim. It gives all the types of Tuma, and then it says, Asara Eser Kedusha Sam, there are 10 Kedushas. Eretz Yisrael Mikudeshet Mikol Aratot. Eretz Yisrael is holier than all the lands. Umahi Kedushata, what is the halachic ramifications of the holiness of Eretz Yisrael? Shemevim Mimena HaOmer, that you can bring the Omer, right? The Sfira Omer, the first cut of barley, Vabikurim, and first fruits, and the Shtei Halechem, the 2 breads that were brought on Shavuos. Masha'enuvim came to Kolorot, says you're not allowed to bring grains for those offerings from any other land except Eretz Yisrael. Ayarod Mukufat Choma, the walled cities in Eretz Yisrael are 1 step up from the rest of Eretz Yisrael, because Metzoraim, people who have tzara'at, are sent out of the walled cities. Another complex thing that I'm skipping about that also. Inside the wall of Yerushalayim is 1 step up from all the other walled cities in Eretz Yisrael, because there you can eat korbanot and eat the 2nd tithe, Meiser Sheni. Har Habayit, the Temple Mount, is 1 step up from the rest of Yerushalayim, because people who have different types of Tuma, Zavim, Zavos, Nidos, V'yoldos, are not allowed to go to the Har Habayit. The Chel, which was a wall going around another concentric circle within the Har Habayit, was holier than that, because only until the Chel are non-Jews allowed to go. That's the closest they're allowed to go. And this is actually the Partzu Chomot Migdalai, the Greeks really didn't like this, and they made holes in it. The Tamei Meit Nichnasim, Ezras Nashim, then you have the Ezrat Nashim, which is the women's section, but it's really the outer part of the courtyard. Somebody went to the mikveh that day, but didn't have the sun set yet, didn't have the stars come out yet, is not allowed to go there yet. Ezras Yisrael is 1 step higher, Mekudesh Mimena, because somebody who's Mechusar Kippurim, somebody who's on their way back from being a Metzora and still has to bring a Korban or a Yoledes and so on, another step, they're not allowed there. Ezrat Kohanim, the place of Kohanim, is 1 step up from there, because no Yisraelim are allowed there, only Kohanim. Except if they absolutely need to go there to lean on it, l'smicha shchita tnufa. The Israelim are sometimes allowed in there. Bein ha'ulam lamizbeach, from the Mizbeach to where the building of the base. Remember, the Mizbeach was out under the open sky, and then there was the Heichal, the building, that tall building with the tall doorway or entrance. So that was holier than that. A Kohen who has a mum is allowed as a Kohen, but he can't walk past the Mizbeach to that area of the courtyard between the Mizbeach and the Heichal. And also a Kohen who didn't have a haircut isn't allowed there either. Not allowed. You have more than 30 days without a haircut. Then the Heichal, the building of the Beis HaMikdash, is Mekudesh Menu She'ein Nechnas L'Sham Ela Rechutz Yadayim V'Reglayim. No one's allowed in there unless they wash their hands and feet, the Kohen. And Kodesh Kodashim is the holiest. She'ein Nechnas L'Sham Ela Kohen Gadol Mikubrim B'Shas Avoda. The only person allowed ever is the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur at the time of doing the service. So these are the Asara Kedushos. And what Reb Shlomo is telling us is, you want to have these eyes that Hashem gives you, right? Mamash, you've got to be able to see that the non-math, that the above all the rules, that the relationship that allows building a statue of two and putting it in there, that energy is what's giving the kedusha to the whole everything else. That it's not two separate things. It is two separate things, but it's not two separate things, right?
Hashem is one.
Mm-hmm.
One is kind of above math also.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, like one.
That's right.
One is like the building block of all math, but it also like transcends math. And so because it's so exceptional, it's not zero, because with zero you don't have anything.
Mm-hmm.
But literally every other number is like a composite of.
It's
one.
composite, 100%. One is an incredible number, and in fact, you're absolutely right that the if you look at Patach Eliyahu, which is a piece of the Zohar that Sephardim always start their davening with, and many Sidurim have it. Patach Eliyahu Amar Ant Chad V'lo B'chush Bina. You Hashem are one, but not mathematically.
Not what?
Not mathematically. Lo b'chush bina. You Hashem are one, but not the mathematical one, just one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's a gewalt. But this is mamish what we're talking about, right? This is mamish what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. So I wanna just share with you a few things, a couple of halachas in the Rambam, where we see that just coming not only to the Kodesh Kodashim, just coming to Eretz Yisrael changes the rules. Mamish changes the rules. The first thing is an eved. Okay, this is one of these things that if you have, there's this concept called an eved Kanani. In the Mishnah, Rabbi who was it who had Tevi? Rabbi Gamliel? Was it him or Rabbi Meir? He had an Eved called Tevi who is quoted a few times in the Mishnah. Everyone loved him. That to be an Eved Kanani was a very deep thing. You had to go to the mikvah, and you would take on the mitzvahs partially, not all the way in, but partially. And you become part of the Jewish household. If you were owned by a Kohen, you would eat truma. Which is a very big deal. A Yisrael is not allowed to eat truma. You were like partially Jewish, but not all the way Jewish. It's a very, very interesting phenomenon. So the thing is, what happens if I have this soul, this non-Jewish soul, that is acquired as an Eved Kanani, Canaanite slave? It's not slavery the way we're used to thinking of slavery. It's a very deep thing. They go to the mikvah and they have to keep Shabbos and they have almost all the mitzvahs, but not all. And what happens if the master of an Eved Kanani takes him to Chutz La'aretz? And then this Eved Kanani gets upset and says, I want to live in Eretz Yisrael. And this Eved Kanani runs away and just comes to Eretz Yisrael. Guess what the halacha says? Is the Rambam. Hilchos Avadim Perek Chet Halacha Yud. Eved shebarach mechutz la'aretz la'aretz. An Eved who ran away his master bought him. It's a whole halachic thing. It's the rules, But he ran to Eretz Yisrael because he wants to be here. Ein machzirin lo la'avdut. We don't send him back to his master. And the pasuk says, "Lo tazgir eved al adanav." It's a pasuk Devarim Perek Gimel pasuk Zayin, and we say to his master that he has to write him a get shichrur. It's called a get of letting him go. And this eved, says Ram next halacha, eved zeh shebarach la'aretz harehu ger tzedek. He becomes, not only is he out, and the master has to set him free, and Beis Din will force the master to set him free, but he becomes a full-fledged Jew. He mamish becomes a Yid. Wow. Just because he's like, I don't want to be out here. I want to be home. And he runs home. He becomes Jewish from the act of running home. And his master has to set him free. So here's an example of the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael containing within it the above the rules of the Kodesh Kodashim. Because all of the Kedusha, all the rules in their soul, they connect. This is what Rav Shlomo, I think, is talking about, with seeing the straightness, of the forwardness, the eyes. To see what Eretz Yisrael is not just to see the math of it's holy and I'm going to do special things there. It's like explosive. It's something else. It has all the rules, but it contains the rulelessness, the divinity, the beyondness of the Holy of Holies, because that's the throbbing source of all of the Kedusha that's here, right? And here's another halacha. This is in Hilchot Sanhedrin, Perek Yud Gimel Halacha Chet. Misha Nigmar Dino B'Veit Din. Somebody who there's a Beis Din, and his din was finished. He was convicted in Chutz La'aretz. Ubarach lebeit din sheberetz Yisrael, and he just somehow hightailed it to Eretz Yisrael and said, "No, I'd like to go to I know they said there's a rule, but I would like a different Eretz Yisrael Beis Din to try me, please." Sosri misdino. We totally tear up whatever his din was out there, and we start over again in Eretz Yisrael, and maybe we'll find it. And then Rashi brings, and this is from Gittin Daf Mem Hey, and they're bringing here the Rashi, Mishum Zchuta Shel Eretz Yisrael, because of the merit of Eretz Yisrael, Ulai To'il Limtzolo Petach Shel Zchut. Maybe in Eretz Yisrael they'll find an opening for his innocence that they couldn't see in Chutz La'aretz. That's like, it's so weird. He's a convict. The guy's a convict. He was convicted by a Jewish court of chachamim, of rabbis. But he just like hightails it to Eretz Yisrael, and he's like, I want a different court. This is not an appeal. This is not like going to, you know what I mean? This is only if he makes it to Eretz Yisrael, right? He like, whatever he is, he's like on a freight train, he's like, he's wearing his prison clothes. But it's an unbelievable thing. Two halachas from the Rambam, right? To illustrate this, that the holiness of the Kodesh Kodashim is here within the rules, within the Kedusha, right? And this is what Shlomo says: don't become FFT, right? Keep that spark. But we need you. All the rules need that Holy of Holies. We need it. Mamish, do we need it? Okay, let's finish with a little one more piece here from page 376. Rabbi Elimelech Mikarlin. Rabbi Elimelech Mikarlin is a bit of a... Rabbi Elimelech Mikarlin, they're bringing here Rabbi Avram Elimelech Perlov Mikarlin, 1892 to 1942. He was the 8th Karliner Rebbe. And he used to visit Eretz Yisrael. And in the year 1939, he came to Eretz Yisrael. He said, I got to really daven in order to, I can tell there's going to be major badness coming to Eretz Yisrael, to the Jews. And he came here to try to daven it away. And then when he was in Israel, they're bringing here in this footnote here, when he was in Israel and he heard that the Germans had crossed the Polish border, he went back against his Chasidim's wishes. They said, Rebbe, stay in Eretz Yisrael. He said, no, I'm coming back. and he was killed. He was killed along with the Chassidim. Amr lo Chassidim. Higil Eretz Yisrael v'yarad ma'oniyah b'Yafo nasal Yerushalayim b'mechonit. He got out and drove straight to Yerushalayim. This is the story of this visit, or one of his visits. The whole way he was like staring out the window. You know, like a kid, like in the window of the bus, like just like, you know, like glued. He glued to the window. And this is the Rebbe. They're used to him every second in a sefer, you know, closing his eyes and going deep in it. And he's just like looking out the window the whole way. Mamish. Amr Chassidim Rabbeinu. They're trying to say it in like in a, what do you call it? In an honorable way, you know, Rebbe, you must be so tired from your trip. Close your eyes to take a rest. He's like, it's like, the Heilige Rebbe Melech Karliner, he says, how can I close my eyes? V'lo astakel al Eretz Yisrael, and not look at Eretz Yisrael. How can I close my eyes and not look at Eretz Yisrael? How dare I? Kol rega, every second mamish. And how do I know I'm supposed to do this? Harei HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'chvod v'as. What does the pasuk say? Mistakel Eretz Yisrael shmoshe guf tamid ein Hashem elokecha ba. The pasuk mamish says it. Dvarim Yud Aleph. Pasuk Yud Bet. The pasuk says Hashem's eyes are always on Eretz Yisrael, because Hashem's always looking at this depth. Hashem's always, we're looking at how we're doing, you know, in the pecking order of mitzvahs, and am I up here, am I down there, how's the Leibish meter doing? Hashem is looking at Eretz Yisrael. Hashem is looking how much he loves you. Hashem is like, yeah, great, you did it, you didn't do it. You know, you did it, you didn't do it. Hashem is looking at Eretz Yisrael. Hashem is looking at Eretz Yisrael. Gewalt, Eicha Kadosh Baruch Hu mistakel Eretz Yisrael. Gewalt, what it means, Hashem is really looking at Eretz Yisrael. He's looking at this. He's looking at the slaves and the convicts who run here, and everything breaks open. Kol mistakel Eretz Yisrael. Gewalt, Eicha Kadosh Baruch Hu mistakel Kol Yodi. Gewalt, how Hashem looks at every yid. I'm Ashreina to learn such Carlebach Hashem. Thank you, Shlomo.
If I may, I
Yeah.
would like to read something
Judy,
that
yeah.
Abraham himself took.
Yes.
Okay. I got. I just read his Haggadah yesterday.
Wow.
Wow.
Haggadah.
It says, we have overcome and we shall forever overcome. We have even, we have striven with gods and with men and have prevailed. We are living proof that can't even read this. We are living proof that there resides in the world the soul of a people, such that there is no end to her strength, such that the dew of supernal light drenches her every moment, watering her soul.
Oh, the Tal of Mamish, that's exactly the same Inyan. The Tal is Mamish, that same Inyan. It's this Kabbalistic image of Zer Anpin's hair being wet with dew. Zer Anpin is all the rules. And being wet with dew is this like freshness and this aliveness, this glistening, hydrated, not dry, like alive, and you know, fresh and in the moment, you know, energy from Atik Yomin. It's Hashem.
So
Anybody have questions or thoughts? We're good. Yeah.
No, I just want to say that every
Yeah.
time I hear the begin,
Yeah.
going up to is there a Carmelite? Is there a city Carmelite? So Shlomo was giving up a concert on this huge open space
Wow.
with the mountains in the back, and he's singing this again. And every time I hear this again or sing it, I just remember
Back
that
there.
scene. You know, like he's singing with these mountains in the back.
I'm almost there, the mountains.
Yeah, right.
It's so cool. The
1980.
Carmel Mountains, probably.
Somewhere.
If it's Carmelite, it's probably the Carmel Mountains.
Hmm?
The Carmel Mountains.
Yeah,
Which is
right.
where Eliyahu. Yeah.
right.
His cave is up there, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that you were saying about such a rebirth with the Hayalim.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, this really helped me because there was an article I read in the Jerusalem Post this Shabbos that a lot of the Hayalim are going to get their bodies tattooed with the names of their friends and the dates.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And that is, if you look at the Kadosh Kadoshim,
Right. It's officially not allowed, right?
a
Right.
different way of
Mhm.
understanding that.
Mhm.
How would you rephrase that?
Yeah, what they, when what are they going to say to those Chayalim and Shemayim about those tattoos? Gewalt,
Oh, really?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saying you're not allowed to get a tattoo. It's a rule in the Torah. Tovet kaka, it's
I
called.
feel like the
Right.
neshamas, they're so,
Right.
wow, it's so hard
But
for us to judge.
See, we
something
can't.
that
That's
we're
what I'm
not
saying.
doing.
I think even Shemayim's gonna have a very hard time. These people. I mean, Bichlal. The idea of Tinok Shenishba, like the whole. Anyway, we don't know anything.
We don't.
We don't know anything. Just do our best.
They
Yeah.
definitely don't know if
Yeah.
they're doing it.
Poor Adelo Yadam. Mamish, you gotta.
Maybe they started lighting Shabbos candles.
No, I'm just saying it's
Yeah.
It's freaking me
it's
out.
an
I
emotion
Yeah.
that they want to remember their friends.
Of course.
It's, you know,
Yeah.
it's something, to connect them with what happened.
Well,
Even the two kufs of kaka is like kodesh.
whoa.
Did you say?
Right.
I mean, it's a stretch.
Can you just say that again?
In Hebrew,
Yeah.
tattoo is called
Kakua.
But it has the two cuffs of like
Oh,
Kodesh,
that's- oh,
Kadosh.
very funny. That's a good one.
Mhm.
Told you to stretch.
We don't know anything. We don't know anything. Mamish the song. The ayin is that Indian. The ayin from the not knowing. Beyond.
The Kodesh, Kadosh.
The Kodesh Kodashim. Mamish. Mamish Azoi. Mam ayin. Yeah.
Can't even look at 364.
Mamish is Mamish Azoi. Da 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 da. Oh, Ellie, I want to hear from you in a second. Let's finish singing. What are you thinking?
I'm wondering what's the connection and what do you have to say about in Birkat Kohanim, which is in the blessing of Ahava, in the prayer that the Kohanim say silently, it references Eretz Yisrael, Eretz Avat Chalav Udvash.
Oh,
And
amazing.
and it's like, okay, we have done what you wanted to.
Yeah.
Now, like, let the blessing flow from the world and bless Am Yisrael and bless the land that you gave us. Kasher Nishpat Levatin, like that you promised our forefathers, Eretz Tzavach Chalav Udvash, and specifically Eretz Yisrael, and that the light should flow all the way to Eretz Yisrael.
Wow,
During
wow,
the
wow.
blessed Ahava.
I got to tell you, this is something I'm not familiar with because I don't say it. Let me just find the exact wording if I can.
So I'll put it in the chat because I just found it because
Oh, okay, yeah, put it in the chat.
more
Great.
the heart kavana. I don't know the exact wording of it. I know. Incredible. It's so incredible. Right? And the chalav dvash would coincide with bracha of hashalom. Sorry,
That's
shalom, so that the word should finish at the same time. Dvash and
This
shalom.
is what the Kohanim say, or what the Israel.
Kohanim say when the Chazan says sim shalom.
Well, right. While the Chazan is saying Sim Shalom, they have a special prayer that they say. Exactly. That's what I thought it was.
Right.
It's so everybody understand this? After the Kohanim do their bracha, right? You ever notice this? They turn around and they're doing their own little davening during the time that the Shliach Tzibur is saying Sim Shalom, the last part. And their prayer is, I'll just translate it straight into English. Master of the world, we've done what you commanded us, and you too do what you promised. Look down from your place in Shemaim and bless your people Israel and the land that you gave us, that you promised to our forefathers, the land flowing with milk and honey. So it's an unbelievable thing. What is Eretz Yisrael doing there? The brachas don't specifically mention Eretz Yisrael, the bracha shemishmerecha, like it doesn't say anything specific about Eretz Yisrael. So it seems to me, this is just my off-the-cuff answer. The Gemara says that when rain comes and bracha comes to the world, it goes first to the Holy of Holies and Eretz Yisrael, and then out to the rest of the world. All bracha in the universe comes through again like that foundation stone. From that what we've been talking about. Not only is it what once happened at the time of creation, and what energizes our Yiddishkeit, it's also at every moment the entry point of the flow of new energy from Shemayim all the time. And so when the Kohanim are giving their bracha, the idea is that that Eretz Yisrael, which is this this is the heights of who we are, right? That again, and this talks straight back to what we were saying. on the one hand, we have to deserve Eretz Yisrael, and there's like the rules, and there's truth to that. It just has to be energized by something higher also. But also, in addition to that, is when you're really in, it's not just that you're keeping the rules. Hashem is making you part of the way that the bracha comes to Eretz Yisrael. You understand how high that is, like how big of a deal that is. It's like it's like what the Medrash Rabbah says, that Hashem consulted with the souls of the tzaddikim about how to create the world. That the Kohanim, when they're giving their bracha and they're saying this prayer to Hashem, they are in such a high place, even in a way above Eretz Yisrael, that you can say, send it down to Eretz Yisrael. It's like this incredible. That's how much Hashem loves us, right? This is how much Hashem loves us, so much that He gives us this ability. The Kohanim do it through their Birkas Kohanim, and all of Am Yisrael does it through everything that we do, all of our davening, everything that we're doing. It's so much more than just keeping the rules. It's being an active partner and a part of how the bracha comes down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always thought it was an interesting combination between ahava, the bracha of ahava, and then the bracha and Eretz Yisrael.
Mm-hmm.
And like he uses the wording of like promised, we did this, but it's also like the Kohanim blessed the people, but then we're saying, oh well, God, you should bless the people. It's the pipeline. It's saying I'm establishing that connection. I'm establishing that connection between God and the Jewish people and opening up that pipeline. So now God, that we open up the pipeline, let the water flow. Yevarecha, like a spiritual, like a brecha, like says. So,
Beautiful.
And let the blessing come. And I guess it's just talking about like Eretz Yisrael is really the cleave for that. To be able to get that pure light.
Right. In the Gemara, there's an argument. Right after the psukim of Birkas Kohanim, it says, "V'samu et shmi al bnei Israel, v'ani avarachem." They should place my name upon Am Yisrael, and I will bless them. One opinion is, I will bless the Jewish people, which relates to this prayer. You gave them a bracha, I'll give them a bracha. And the other pshat is, I'll bless the Kohanim. And I'm like everything else, Elu ve'elu divrei Elokim chayim. It's mamish both, right? That there's a special blessing the Kohanim get for making, when you're the vessel and it's coming through you, you're gonna get, right? It's gonna be very good, right? That's part of the idea when you daven for your friend, you'll be answered first because you became the pipeline for someone else, which is so precious.
There's also the Reb Shlomo Torah, about that. I don't know, I want to fix the world and I know how to do it, saying that Hashem's not going to build bridges for you. You said, Hashem, I want to fix the world and I don't know how to do it. And Hashem says, okay, I know how to do it and you're going to be the one to do it. Like you're going to build the bridges. The bridges are open for you when you.
That's a very important Torah from Shlomo. That's mamish exactly what we've been talking about. That's a really, really important, because how do you do this thing that we were talking about, that we need you? How do you live that? Okay, great. Mazel tov, they need me. But how? What am I supposed to actually do? That's where that tefillah comes in. You say to Hashem exactly that what Shlomo said. You say, Hashem, I know there's this deep fixing that I feel it in my heart. I know what I've experienced. I want to be your vessel for it to come through to others. Use me, and then that's such an incredibly important prayer. I'll just take a second and tell you that one of the great Torah teachers of our generation is a woman named Dina Friedman. She's a Belzer Chassid. Yeah. Oh my God. Unbelievable lady. She lives in Ramat Beit Shemesh Bet. She's mamish a Hasidic lady. She has these incredible teachings about child raising children and just about mastering yourself and finding your power. Mom is incredible, very, very amazing Torah. And she gave this advice about davening that is so incredible. He said, let's say you need something. Like, let's say you need, for the sake of an example, because I'm using her example, it's easier for me. Let's say you need a place to live, right? You need a place to live. So she says, what you do is you describe it in as much detail as you possibly can, exactly, precisely what it looks like, the colors, the shape, the neighborhood, everything, right? You be completely specific. Then you write down, now if I would walk into such a house, how would it make me feel? How would it make other people feel? What would all of that amount to energetically? What would it amount to in my Avodas Hashem? Right? And you make another list of things: warmth and convenience and community and nature and spaciousness, whatever is the essential things for you. And then she says, then you scrap the first list of your precise thing and you daven only for the second. Say, Hashem, I need a place that's going to be all of these things.
Wait. You scrap the first list, and what's the second list?
The second list is what,
Feel part.
yes,
And you negate what you think you need it to look like.
exactly.
Because I was about to ask.
You negate the form because Olam Hazeh has only so much form. It's finite, right? The magic of how the infinite, as we keep talking about, how the infinite works with the finite, is when you develop a deep will for essence, and you let Hashem take care of the form. Mamish, like what Eli, what you were saying, right? And so to get to what is the essence that I want, it's a good exercise to be very precise about form, so that you can then extract from it, why do I want all of that? Because sometimes you don't even realize it until you can sort of like look at it. And when you can do that and then extract the essence, which is the Vodas Hashem and the feeling and the energy that it's going to bring to the world, to family, to people, etc., and you daven about that, then Hashem says, now you're giving me to work with, because that exact house, Sprinza is getting that house. But I have the perfect place that's going to give you all those things and more. And thank you for not limiting me. That's this amazing thing of how davening works. And she proves it through different things. There's like a midrash, there's this wild midrash, that there was a guy who was stuck in the desert, and he said, please Hashem, send me a donkey. And so then, but he didn't say so that I could ride on it. So then this passing, and I saw it once. I think it's a Medrash Tillim somewhere. Then this passing, group of traveling whatever, Shayara comes by, and they see him. They're like, "Oh, we need you. The donkey just gave birth to a baby donkey. We need you to carry this little baby donkey." He's like, I should have davened to the donkey to ride on. Not to, give me a donkey. I should give you a donkey. But it's an incredible midrash, because it's telling you have to actually be careful about what you precisely daven for. Mom is amazing, and so the more you can get to essence, the more you letting Hashem bring it to you in different kinds of a way. If you would have just said, what I need is to get home and as quickly as possible that won't make me tired, then, Hashem could have, millions of things could have happened, right? Okay. Chaim Chevra, so I'll be connected to the essence. Chaim, thank you so much for coming. Moishi, so good to see you. Incredible. Eli, wow. He's in, what are you up to over there? You're working, you're traveling?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm traveling.
Beautiful.
Traveling, yeah.
Yeah. Just by yourself?
Yep.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're expecting some
Wow.
tidbits when you get back.
Yeah, we definitely want to hear stories. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure. No pressure. But do you know around when you think you're gonna come back there to Israel? Do you have like a basic kind of
You just the teachings gave me some idea.